Hey everyone, welcome back to another Cats and Rats live stream. I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside, as always, my co-host, Cody Stevens and Nick Levine. Got a special guest here today to cover our Florida Panthers, reigning and defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, Armando Velez from the Locked On Florida Panthers Network. Thank you for being here today, Armando. How's it going?
Oh, it's great to be here, boys, as always. And as this recording drops, we will be 1 day away from opening night. And to think that for the first time in a while, the regular season will actually kind of mean something. We're not in that mindset of the Florida Panthers having to coast through the regular season. There's now a level of interest for the first time in a while for that.
Yes, right, Armando. Cody, you put that on us because I remember you saying this summer, like, I'm more excited to see what the other teams are going to be doing.
Yeah.
In this.
I still kind of am, to be honest with you, but
really, with everything in the last week or two,
I'm still like very.
What's going on in the last week or two? Anything?
Lots of things.
Last couple days.
More like what time is it? 8 o'clock. So about 4 hours ago. Yeah.
And that's about how long it took for the first period to get done. Anyway,
look, I gotta get.
We'll get into all of those the melees of the preseason on our debut episode of NHL After Dark, debuting this Saturday. After the Panthers game, about a couple hours after, we're going to do our post-game show over on the X platform side, get through all the callers there that we have to get through, and then on Saturday night when the Panthers play Ottawa, we'll launch that.
I can't believe it's back.
But we got to stop playing Tampa in the preseason. Like it's done, over with at this point.
Yeah, one game or just eliminate it. You don't need the gate revenue money anymore. They can travel to different areas like Carolina, Nashville, all that. So, but guys, where do we want to start before we get to the addition and subtractions? Nick, that you've put together our graphics for that all year. Boys, where do we want to start here off the top before we get into the lineup and everything?
I think it's right.
Elephant in the room. This guy right here.
Florida Panthers are going to be without their captain, Aleksander Barkov, the best two-way center in the NHL, one of the best players in the NHL, for 7 to 9 months, according to the team. I know what other people have heard and said, and is going around there on social media, going based off what the official team statement says, 7 to 9 months, which would more than likely take him out for all of the regular season, and potentially we will not see him again until next season, the 26-27 season. Obviously a massive loss. There's no replacing him, but what can we do in the meantime to kind of supplement that?
Do you guys think we make a trade before the season starts? No.
First
you got to see what you got in order to make a trade, because you have good in-house replacements. Like, I hate saying replacements, but that's what they are at this point. You have Sam Bennett, Anton Lundell, who are two really good centers, and you have a bunch of makeshift centers we can have on the third line, and then you have Luke Kunin as your 4C, who's a very capable 4C. So
you can move him lineup too a bit.
So if we were going to make a deal, it would have happened already, and plus it's not. I don't think there's going to be, if there's a trade at all, it's going to be around January, February, around maybe.
Well, I think if there's potential, it could be November, December.
I'm more on the December timeline.
I think November, December, you'll start to hear more things, but
you'll hear things, but the trade won't happen until February.
No, I don't agree with that fully, but only time will tell.
Because you're going to have to see where Barkov's rehab is at. Because if he can come back in April, you're not shutting it down.
I'm with Cody on this one, and to answer David Torres' question, how long Nosek will be out? It's indefinite. So there is actually no timeline on that one.
I've heard he's out for the season. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
That he will not be returning, and that's part of the reason Luke Kunin came in. They needed a guy to fill in there.
Yeah. Luke Kunin, also the connection there, Armando, with Matthew Tkachuk.
Yes, the connection with Matthew Tkachuk, both of them growing up in Missouri, and also Bill Zito was Luke Kunin's agent at the very beginning of his career. So he got a lot of the intel from Luke Kunin, possibly before making that trade. So the fact that they knew each other, and the fact that they both bring the sandpaper to the ice as well, that's definitely a big help for what the Florida Panthers are trying to continue to do from seasons past going into this year. But just to go back to what Cody said, I do think that if the Panthers do make a move, it's going to be maybe like February-ish, because you want to see where the team overall as like a body of work looks like before Aleksander Barkov even takes the ice. Even if he does, you want to see, because you'll have a few options. If he's out for the regular season and he could return for the playoffs, you have the average salary for NHL players in relief of $3.8 million that you could use. But there's the season-ending injured reserve that's new to the CBA this year that you could get the full cap relief there. So they want to look at their options if they want to use the 3.8, and they'll probably, if they do, they'll probably make some trades, retentions, and everything, or go the route of the full. But we won't know until March, the trade deadline.
Names.
Yeah, good point. I just want to jump in there. Quick names, Nick. I want to get JJ Pajot and Boone Jenner would be
Boone Jenner, Evgeny Malkin. Those would be names that would fit in with either retention or taking on the full hit of cap. Would be fits for what we're looking for. Another name potentially could be out there. I think you'll hear it as the season gets a little bit further in, is Ryan O'Reilly. So I think those four names are going to steer
Alex
a
Wenberg
lot.
is one that TSN commented on.
Alex Wenberg. But I think you're going to hear a lot about Boone Jenner, JG Pajot, and I think you're going to hear a lot about Evgeny Malkin, as we already have.
My pipe dream is LA Kings, but things have to.
Well, my pipe dream's the other guy in Pittsburgh, but no, we're not going to talk about that tonight.
I know if Barkov does go in the season-ending injured reserve, we will be, I think, 5.5 over the cap under the cap. My bad, because we're 4.5 over with the Tkachuk and everything on there. So just subtract that from Barkov's salary. That's what we're at for trade deadline purposes.
So, for example, Malkin makes 6.1. You retain anything pretty much on that, you're going to be able to get below it. So to fit under the initial for the temporary LTIR, not the season-ending LTIR, the rules changed.
With him being a free agent, how about going after Aleksander Holtz? Because Vegas just released him because they could not afford it. I'm not a fan of Aleksander Holtz, to be completely honest with you. More of a goal-scoring type, more of just like what we already have in like Verhaeghe type guy. And if if Vegas is not making room for him to stick in there, and Vegas is trying to win a cup, that kind of tells me something. And he's already kind of bounced around the league a bit. He was drafted like I think 11th overall by New Jersey. Just overall, just more of just a finesse skill player. And I believe he's a natural winger, not even a center. So I don't think it would probably fit.
And another name that Kirby just mentioned in the chat, Jack Roslovic, is a name out there. We're not fans of that. At least I'm not. I know Kirby's not. I don't believe Cody is either. Armando, I don't know if you have an opinion on that.
I mean, there's a reason why Jack Roslovic is. It's about to be opening night, and he still hasn't been signed. He's been in different places. So I mean, does he? It depends. Many players have gone to the Florida Panthers, have been able to change their game and to fit into the system. And the fact that they haven't even reached out to him to sign. That says that they're not going in that direction.
There's a bit of history there. Paul Maurice was his coach in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah, because they traded from Winnipeg to Columbus in the Line A trade.
I don't think, again, we've heard some names, former Paul Maurice Winnipeg Jet players' names connected to the Panthers. They don't really go anywhere actually after outside of the initial rumors. So
a lot of Paul Maurice W.
I don't know. Roslovic's name is like the same thing I think of when I think of like Wenberg. I just think of a guy that's just there. Like, they really don't add anything. Not necessarily physical. Maybe they're good defensively, but they're not really necessarily like game changers as like a JG Pajot or a Boone Jenner might be. And then addition subtractions. Jeff Petrie on a 1-year $750,000 million contract from the Red Wings. Nolan Foote, 2-way deal. Daniil Tarasov from Columbus as our backup goalie. Luke Cunnin, as stated earlier, a 1-year $750,000 or $775,000 contract.
He was with Ottawa and San Jose last year.
Gregor is on a PTO still, or did we sign him?
He's still on a PTO. They made one cut. They made only one cut today, which is Jack Stanicka on waivers, and they have one cut. They have one cut remaining.
And then they also did lose Brandon.
So I would, if I had to assume, based off what I've seen and the very little I've watched in preseason, I would guess Tyler Mott probably doesn't get a PTO. I would guess Noah Gregor does get Tyler Mott doesn't get a contract. Noah Gregor does. They make that decision on him or Cole Schwint. I mean,
well, why are they making that decision on Cole Schwint over Stanika, who had a really strong camp? I don't quite understand the infatuation there. And Nick, Gregor's had a good camp. I didn't see.
And it's interesting with Stanika. He has some pedigree there. I believe, wasn't he like a first or second round pick? Like he was like
Stanika.
Like for Boston, first round pick.
And he's fast.
Like so he has some pedigree there. Like I know there were a lot of Boston fans. I think that was around the time with Ryan Spooner and then the younger David Pastrnak. He was kind of in that mix there. So
the Bruins were one of the worst drafting teams of the late 2010s.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Well, at least in the first round.
Yeah, but a notable omission to the additions list, because we did lose him on waivers today. Brandon Bussey is on his way to Carolina for some unknown reason. Because I thought they would have 13,000 goalies over there, but apparently not. They got to steal ours, and then
maybe they don't trust Kochetkov as the backup.
That is damning.
Don't get Cody started on that.
That's damning. Look, Kochetkov, emotional goalie. I don't think emotional goalies are good. So I mean,
I don't think. I think the problem is that they shouldn't trust Anderson either. To be fair with you, but
Anderson was better than Kochetkov, but. And
that's not saying much.
Then what does that mean for Kochetkov, buddy?
Not much. No, they put more into Anderson. They put more eggs into that basket.
Yeah, because he's more reliable. And then we re-signed, as everyone knows.
Reliable 20 games a year, Kirby. You got to know that.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
The famous re-signings, Varanek, Gladbad, Marchand, and Sam Bennett. And then the notable subtractions. The biggest subtraction of the year was Nate Schmidt going to Utah on a 3x3.5. I low-key wish we could have kept him, but I understand why we didn't.
Yeah, we knew we weren't going to keep him just like Gudas, Cody.
Yeah, but Nico Sturm, trade deadline acquisition that kind of didn't pan out due to an injury, kind of was playing through it in the first half of the playoffs. Yessi Puljujärvi, I wish we re-signed him. I really loved his tenure in the back half of last year. He was hitting everything that moved.
He made those March games exciting in April.
Like Kirby was shocked. I remember he goes, "This guy's hitting everything that moves out there."
I was like, "Wow!"
Was a big part of the Checkers playoff run as well.
Oh yeah,
he was. And then Rasmus Asplund, thank God I don't have to hear his name ever again because I'm sick.
Always one of those bubble guys that just kind of stuck around longer than some other guys do within the Paul Maurice, system and organization. That was interesting.
Then Jacob Megna, just organizational depth over there in Vegas and for us. And then Vitek Vinacek, our famous backup for the last half of last year.
With all due respect to him, sayonara, buddy.
I thought he played. I thought
that was Nick's like a whipping boy.
Look,
oh my gosh.
Let's also remind everybody that goalie wins is not a stat, and Vitek Vanacek has a 30-win season.
Yeah, and let's be real here. I remember the games he played. The team did not play that well in front of him.
It doesn't help when listen, I've never been a fan of Vanacek, but I heard nothing but good things about him from the teammates. He was always he was a great teammate. I don't obviously some things in the back half of last year with the Ekblad suspension, but I think we have an upgrade there now in Tarasov.
Only cost them Patrick Giles, whose ceiling is fourth line
center.
Yeah,
and it was a filler for Spencer Knight leaving. Yeah. So you gotta have to do what you had to do.
But then notable additions and subtractions for the Florida Panthers. And Kirby, you said you've had some stuff set up here. What do we have set up for this?
Not yet. We want to get to let's get to our daily face-offs. Let's break down the lineup, and then after the break, we got some interesting stuff. So let's go over the lineup here, gentlemen, for the next 10-15 minutes. Kind of lineup combinations that we see. Again, this is via daily face-off. We say to all our guests, Armando, obviously, if you see something there that you don't agree with or how they have it set up, just let us know. And let us know how you guys have this playing out.
I mean, we should know this. I mean,
yeah. Let's go to Armando first because everyone's heard us probably talk about it this summer. Armando, start us off here.
Yeah, so first line is for Hagee, Bennett, Reinhart. Second line is the third line from last year, Etulu Storian, Lundell, Marchand. Third line is Jesper Boquist, Evan Rodriguez, and Maki Semiskevich. And the fourth line is Jonah Gadjevich, Luke Cunnin, and AJ Greer with the forwards. And to wrap up the defense, the first pair is Gustav Forsling, Aaron Ekblad. Second pair, Nico Mikla, Seth Jones, Dmitry Kulikov, and Jeff Petrie with the goalie tandem of Danil Tarasov and Sergei Bobrovsky.
So The talk there, Armando, with the forwards.
Yeah, I mean, for what you are going to be missing in the beginning of the season with Matthew Tkachuk and the 7 to 9 months with Aleksander Barkov, these are the lines that Paul Maurice has been rolling with, and I mean, look at the main conversation has been what the forward lines are going to be. The defense is. This is basically what the projection has been all offseason. Balinskis is going to be the 7D. Tobias Bjornfoot, who cleared waivers, is going to be that first call-up for the Florida Panthers. So the interesting thing about this is shifting Evan Rodriguez back to center. And let's not forget, during the 2024 run, he had to play center from time to time because Sam Bennett took that shot to the hand from Brandon Montour in round 1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So shifting him back, he's played center before. So the question is, can he actually play drive a line from up the middle? So that's going to be the very big question coming into this season when it comes to that third line.
Yeah. I already know what my biggest question mark for this lineup is, and it's not scoring, it's not defense, it's faceoffs. Listen, Sam Bennett is not the greatest player in this faceoff dot. Lundell just was above 50% this past year. I think 54, if I'm not mistaken. Erod's a career below 40, like 45 faceoff guy. Luke Cunnin not too far behind him. We're gonna get worked in the circle, and that's my biggest worry. Because especially in like those D zone draws or whatever, because you have the freaking D zone draws, it goes right back to the defenseman, D to D, and then deflections in your net. That's my biggest concern with this lineup. The one thing this is just something is I want Lusto at 3C. I just like his defensive IQ a little bit better than Erod's, and I would love to see Mackey in the top 6, especially. I would like to see that at least, but. Hey, we'll roll with this to start, but I think adjustments will be made going throughout the season. But that's just the way I would see it right now.
Nick?
Yeah, I agree with Mackey in the top 6. I think it's going to be interesting, kind of pointing to what Armando said about Evan Rodriguez. Can he play drive a line through the middle of the ice? And I'm also a little bit wondering about Jesper Boqvist. Obviously, we've seen scoring from him can come and go at times during the year. I believe at one point he went 24 games without a goal. So I would like to see a little bit
January before the contract extension. Then he went cold after that.
Yep.
And obviously he filled in nicely at certain points in time. I would like to see a little bit more opportunity there for Mackey, especially with the injuries though with Barkov and Tkachuk. I don't think these are set in stone. I think you will see a lot of fluidity throughout the top 9.
And you got to give the opportunity on power play 1. Again, looking good with Seth Jones.
That's what I was going to say, is that top power play unit. I think that's where you're really going to see the biggest opportunity for him. Does he get a chance maybe in that top 6 with Reinhart or with Lundell and Marchand? I mean, potentially. And then I wouldn't mind swapping him and Losterinen and putting Losterinen into the middle. And then you kind of have that third line shutdown line. But I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I like Jesper Boqvist.
I'm with you on Lusto at center. Yeah.
I would be okay with trying somebody else in Jesper Boqvist's spot. I would see what you have there, and if there's a little bit more ceiling to where that is, we kind of know what Jesper Boqvist is. No disrespect to him, he's a good player. But I would see, especially if it doesn't start off well, and I think that's where we're going to really see the biggest drop-off is you lose Barkov, you lose Tkachuk. That third line's not as good, right? It just is what it is. So I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to give other guys that we've seen throughout this training camp an opportunity if things don't work out there initially.
Well, how about talking about that fourth line? I was a big proponent of bringing Luke Cunnin in. I did a write-up on him about a year and a half ago prior to the Florida Panthers.
And he was looked at, and a name I brought up last year around the trade deadline along with Nico Sturm. You used the term buzzsaw, I think, to describe him. And I think it's a stylistic fit. I think it's, not the best in faceoffs, but I do think it's going to be – it's a good veteran center. I mean, you take a look the last 3 years, Kevin Stenlund, probably the highest ceiling guy there was. But even Tomáš Nosek, I mean, was a dependable fourth-line center.
Didn't get a chance till later on that they deemed as a center/winger.
Correct, and now you take a look at Luke Cunnin. So I think it's going to be interesting. Jonah Gadjevich going to get a little bit more of an opportunity. But where I'm really interested to see is I think the top 6, other than Mackey, is kind of pretty much set in stone. what the rotation looks like in this bottom six and how they're shifting guys in and out. And I think you need to utilize some of the players we've seen throughout the training camp. Again, is Jonah Gadjevich an 82-game player, a night in, night out player? I know he was very good in the playoffs, Kirby. I mean, there were points in times where there were just some nights that, I mean, that fourth line was getting hemmed in our own zone. So I think in a situation where our top guys are out, I think you're going to need to rely on your depth a little bit more.
And just one other thing there from David in the chat. We're going to get into kind of some Bennett numbers here after the break when we get through the defense and the goaltending with Lundell and how we kind of see that playing out with getting right into the numbers, guys. But I think they're asking Lundell, Armando here. I want to go to you here. They're asking him to be that 1C because they want him for those defensive matchups. We know how they hide and insulate that second line when Tkachuk's in the lineup. And when he's out of the lineup, it's going to be even a little bit more magnifying now, and not having Barkov, obviously.
Yeah, and let's not forget that during the playoffs at times especially when the Panthers were home and they got the last change, they were able to put Lundell a lot of the time against the team's best, so that it could help that the Barkov line get their changes and match up against possibly the more bottom part of the lineups for the opposition. I don't think the Panthers do have that luxury as well this year, going as it was in previous years. But that's where Lundell's really got to step up, especially in late game situations for the Panthers. Whenever they are up, the team does bring the extra attacker. And also the thing with Anton Lundell, as opposed to Sam Bennett, is kind of like Aleksander Barkov. Lundell works that give and go play extremely well when it comes to driving to the net, while Sam Bennett is more of the guy who dumps it in himself, and he is sometimes his own F1 when going in on the forecheck. Obviously, he does have the speed. Anton Lundell's not the greatest skater, but Sam Bennett, I think that would help with getting the established zone time. It's just really about can Sam Bennett also be able to consistently beat the defensemen to those end boards when it comes to that.
Cody, that's something you always mention on with Bennett being that F1 and kind of driving into the zone. I think it's an advantage for us 5-on-5. I get frustrated with it when it comes to the power play. And we've already seen in preseason, I've heard different people talk, Sam Bennett's one of the best zone entry guys. I don't buy that completely, because I think what they're going to utilize is Sam Reinhart to enter that zone. When Bennett comes through with speed, he's doing these little dump off passes to Reinhart. He's the one entering the zone, making a move by a defender, holding on to the puck and setting it up, Nick. And then also our backhand guy.
I think you could potentially see Seth Jones or even Mackie Samoskevich take on that role a little bit more. But I think what you'll see kind of more is not as much a Chris, slingshot, sexy looking power play. I think they're gonna, if they don't win the faceoff, which given the centers, if Sam Bennett's taking it, they're gonna lose it. No disrespect to Sam Bennett, just faceoff percentage.
Well, and Maurice refuses to play Lundell on power play one, and where he can help with you on that is the faceoffs. And maybe,
but if you lose that, I think what you're going to see a lot is they're going to rim the puck into the zone, and they're going to have to go to work to go get the puck. I think they're going to just
but just to jump in, Nick, how quickly is the coach staff going to get tired? You've got Sam Bennett taking that draw. You're losing all these draws, and you're starting in your own zone to start your power play every time.
Well, I mean, only time will tell for that part, and I don't disagree with you. But I think the power play goals we're going to get, they're going to just be kind of off broken plays or getting it to the net. They're not going to be passing it around. It's going to be off transitions. It's going to be off broken plays, rebounds.
They might have
an opportunity there short. It's going to
Reinhart to take that draw.
Yeah, it's going to be a little messy. They're not going to be snapping it around. And if they are, then I'm glad they're proving me wrong. But you just don't have the talent for the puck possession and the respect there. Like having Aleksander Barkov on the half wall or Matthew Tkachuk below the goal line, they get a level of respect there because they can make plays. Anton Lundell, Sam Bennett, doesn't matter. They're not going to get that same level of respect. It's just not. And they're going to be able to push them off the puck a little bit more.
And Barkov is so great at using those one touches from the half wall to get it down low. And also the fact that with the movement, Barkov, when he's on the power play, he also likes to go back to the point and sometimes thread the needle over to the bumper. So can you rely on Sam Bennett to be that whenever he is on power play? Thankfully, they're both left-handed shots, Bennett and Barkov. But that if you do bring Sam Bennett back to the point, and then Seth Jones goes from the right point to the left, then Aaron Ekblad, if he's on power play 1, he's not as effective if he's going more towards the below the circle there. So that's where I believe that Mackie Samoskevich would possibly be more effective in that spot on power play 1 versus Aaron.
Now, I do.
Cody, just to jump in, Cody, you talked about Marchand being that Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, because he's the best one at it.
Mhm.
Because he's the next best passer, the next best pass, the next best neck front. Bennett's not going to be good down there because you're kind of taking away what he wants to do. Because Bennett, the problem, he wants to shoot. He wants to shoot the puck. It may be out of the zone, but he wants to shoot the dang thing. And Marchand has proven he's a good passer. He sees the play very well, very high hockey IQ. Same thing with Matthew Tkachuk.
He can get in front of the net like the other night there to screen.
He can get in front of the net anytime. Yeah. So that's just how I feel about it. Like, to me, if you're running it, like, it's going to be one of, like, I think your power play was going to be Marchand, Bennett, Reinhart, Jones, and that 5th spot is going to be the autumn. It's just going to be rotating throughout the year.
Ekblad, Mackey, Verhaeghe.
Yeah,
maybe Verhaeghe, but the left-handed shot deal right there is like. Yeah. But then again, he's proven he can score from there with that kind of shot. He did it in the Cup final.
From the weak side, when that puck does get slung over there, you need Verhaeghe shooting that. It usually happens. I think Armando. I feel more in the playoffs than the regular season. You look at the Carolina series, the Edmonton series, those situations there. It's like he gets going as the season. But we need Verhaeghe, and I don't have him written into our script here later, Armando, but we need Verhaeghe to get off to a much better start.
Yeah, and if I could just speak on that one point, I think what you do with that is the question is, do you go 2 defensemen on the power play? Because we did that last year. Obviously, Barkov
they haven't.
Aren't going to be there having camp, so I'm assuming that's what they're going to start off here. You get Marchand. I think you should put Lundell and then Reinhart, Jones, and then you make the decision. Is Verhaeghe or Mackey there for Ekblad? Is Bennett in for Lundell? I mean, I have my preferences. That's for the coaching staff to decide. But, I mean, there's a decision to be made there. A lot more things are fluid with the injury. And even a guy like Jeff Petrie, if the power play is really struggling, which – I see that happening, just the nature of the type of team we are and the losses. Does he get an opportunity to quarterback the power play? I've been actually pleasantly surprised how he's moved the puck.
He's been unleashing that can.
I think it could be an interesting option, and he's been a puck mover throughout his career. He's always distributed the puck nicely. He's a nice, smooth skating defenseman, big guy. Has quarterback power
he doesn't move
before.
well back there mobility-wise. I've seen in camp, but that's the problem when you have
the thing is with Petrie and with like the back end. If we're power play struggling, I don't think it's because of the back end. I think it's either we're missing the net or we're not connecting on passes. And because the thing is, like, because with Bennett on the power play 1, you're going to be missing. He's going to be missing in that quite a bit, and that's when he's struggling. And the other thing is we got to get more Reinhart way more involved in the power play this year. But then again, teams are probably going to go zone in on him way more now because we don't have the Tkachuk and we don't have the Barkov to kind of take away the attention that he's getting.
But Cody, if they don't like what one of Jones or Ekblad are doing, that's when they're looking at Petrie. If it's the forwards, they're interchanging a new forward in for that guy.
Yeah, it's just, but the thing is, like, even when we struggled last year, they never gave Nate Schmidt a look on the power play one. They never did. And
we had a lot of
well, they gave Uvis Belenskis a look, then they gave Aaron Ekblad a look, Adam Boqvist a look. So they gave guys opportunities.
Remember, let's not forget that last year was a trial and error period because of the fact that they lost Brandon Montour. So it was, a
lot more underrated than people thought, Armando. Because on our post-game show, Montour's not doing enough on the power play, misses the net. Cody got on him quite a bit, but it's like last year I didn't like all the interchangeable pieces. I think Seth Jones actually stabilized it when he came in, or that would have continued being that cycle. We might have seen more of Nate Schmidt, Cody, if we didn't get a guy like Seth Jones.
Yeah, but if we would have saw Nate Schmidt, we would have saw it earlier in the year. But we tried the Adam Boqvist experiment. We tried the Uvis Belenskis experiment. We tried the Aaron Ekblad quarterback in power play experiment, but he's not really that good at quarterbacking. But the defense pairings we have here, this is the strength of the team to start the year. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is your first full year of a solid defense. Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsling, freshly extended Nico Mikkola, 8 years, $5 million per. I mean, that's a perfect deal. I could give a dang if it's 8 years, to be honest with you. Seth Jones, his first full year as a Panther. We'll see if he can get much better in the system with him being more insulated. The ageless wonder that is Dmitry Kulikov. And then the new addition on the back end, Mr. Jeff Petrie, the first time in 2 seasons, I believe, 2 or 3 seasons, the Panthers have more than 2 right-handed defensemen on the roster.
And I think everybody saw it appropriately. I really like, I think our top 4, you take a look at the construction of our defense from each of the 3 pairs, right shot, left shot, and even a guy like Lubis Balinskis as the 7th. To start the year, it's the best defense we've had, like you said, Cody, in multiple years. It's going to need to be relied upon, but I think you get a little bit of everything. You get puck moving ability, you get physicality, you get size. I mean, this is a pretty big blue line. I think that's an underrated part of it. I mean, you take a look, Aaron Ekblad, he's 6'4", 6'5". Nico Mikola's 6'6". Seth Jones is around 6'4", 6'5". Jeff Petrie's a big guy too. Dmitry Kulikov's not small. I mean, Gustav Forsling's the smallest guy, and he's
not necessarily. He's just NHL average height. I don't think
average height, and he's the best skater, but elite stick. So I mean, this is a big blue line. I think the minute allocation is going to work really well, but you have a bunch of minute munchers there in the top 4. And I think a guy like Dmitry Kulikov, who's had to play a lot of top 4 minutes over the last 2 years for a multitude of reasons, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a really good thing, actually, because I really liked how him and Nate Schmidt looked prior to the Ekblad suspension. I'm interested to see how that bottom pair looks and what situations they're put in. Is Jeff Petrie going to get penalty killing time? I'm assuming he's going to be quarterback in the number 2 power play unit, but is he going to get penalty killing time? Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Nate Schmidt, they did not. I think
I'm going to assume no.
I think Jeff Petrie would be more equipped to do that. But again, your penalty kill is Ekblad, Forsling, Mikkola, Kulikov. Then you got Jones and Petrie, which is not bad, right? So we have a lot of options back there.
The only way he sees it is if we have a D-man in the box. That's the only way I see it with the penalty kill wise. And then the goaltending front, I mean, there's no introducing it. The greatest goaltender in Panther history and Sergei Bobrovsky, and then Daniil Tarasov. I love Kirby's head popped up when I said that, but it's the truth now.
I'm just going to shut.
Yeah, to me, it's just it's more on Tarasov to see like if he can continue his run in the preseason, because that game at Carolina he was phenomenal, and I thought the game at Tampa he had a good start, but then you give Tampa 9 power plays, they're gonna bury some.
Yeah, and Rob Tal's goaltending coach has got to work on those fundamentals a bit and zone in. But I really like Tarasov along the ice level. He's got a good economy of movement. That goaltending department's doing good stuff there with Krog, Gerasimiak. Cooper Black had some good moments in camp. He also had some bad ones in that Tampa game where he got beat by the same shot times. But there's things there that is very positive within what we see here with Bobrovsky and Tarasov, but also within the organization. But Armando, anything on the back end or in net?
Yeah, from what I've observed, I see that Tarasov, he is 3 inches taller than Sergei Bobrovsky. He's listed at 6'5", while Bobrovsky is 6'2". So I've seen some of the quick movement from left to right, getting the pads down on time, and also knowing when to let go of the stick, kind of like what Sergei Bobrovsky does best, when to create a different way to make a save on the shot. So for those who are still new to the sport, that's very strategic for what goalies do whenever they do let go of the stick. So it's not always by accident when they do. Danil Tarasov, his timing was actually very, very well on those from what I've seen in the preseason. But
I mean, I think both guys are from the same small town in Russia. I mean, Bob played with Daniil's father, I believe, when he was in the KHL, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait, no.
Up to him. He looked up to him.
He looked up to Daniil's dad, and Daniil looked up to Sergei.
Yeah.
So that could be something that Daniil's learning from Bob, and it's going to be an interesting thing. I would love to know the game allocation for both. Like, I want Bob right around 50-ish games, 50 to 52. Like 55 to me is pushing it.
I think you're going to see upwards of 25, 30 starts from Tarasov.
Yeah, I talked to someone within the organization, Armando, and they really want to focus on that 50 number with Bob.
I want Tarasov right around like 27 to 30.
And they have 14 back-to-backs this year.
Good Lord.
There's 7 right there.
Yeah. They have 3, 1 in the first month, none in November, and then 4 of them in December. So
we'll get to that Bob number in a bit here, though. We got something later on that. Anything else on these lineups, gentlemen, before we go to a break here?
No, I mean, the injuries right there. I mean, your two your top forwards right there. Actually, your 2 highest paid players right there.
Well,
Right
not
there.
quite 2 or 3, but we get the point.
Look, it's tied for 1. You go right to second there.
Two of the highest paid skaters. We'll say that.
But anyway, before we continue on, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Caneswear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And another word from our other sponsor with Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. Hey, Panther fans in South Florida need real estate help? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy the team puts humans over houses, working hard for you, whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did.
And just on the Jeremy front there, shout out to our guy. We're going to have some contests running this year, mostly on the Twitter X platform. So make sure you join us over on the post-game side there. We're going to have a weekly Panthers one every Saturday night when we're running that contest. And then we're going to have a fun monthly one. You can win gift cards. There's potential chance to win Panther jerseys and more. So check out, again, Jeremy Beckham, BeckSellsFLA.com. Guys, let's get into our over-under here. I'm going to put some stuff up on the screen. We're going to go around the horn. You're going to give me your number over under. Let's start with Sam Reinhart. I set these numbers myself, but I did some research on them as well. 42.5 goals over under Sam Reinhart this season. Whoever wants to start, go ahead.
I'll go over.
Okay, explain a bit when you go over.
Because he's going to get a lot of shots. I think on the power play this year, I don't think he'll be stapled to the bumper spot due to the injuries we have. I think you'll see him move around, and he does have a little bit of underrated wrist shot from distance. So, I think he's probably going to get probably about 40 to 50 more shots pending health. So I'm going to go over.
Cody's going over. Armando.
Last year he had 424 total shots. The year before when he scored 57, he had 446. So he had 22 more. And yeah, he's going to be heavily relied on. Will it be up to the point of 446 from 2 years ago? Maybe somewhere in between. So I'm going to say maybe he'll get like 44, 45. So I'm going to go with the over. So which is, right around just above his average during his years with the Florida Panthers. So you look at his years, 33, 31, 57, 39. So that would be just above his average from his Florida Panthers tenure.
And that 33 was a down year, by the way.
Yes, his first year in Florida.
So we've got two overs here, Nick.
I don't. Oh my gosh, I'm right there with it. I mean, you kind of think if anybody's going to score for our team, it's got to be him, right? I'll go the over.
That's fantasy league. It better be.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's in my keeper league. You better be. Damn it. I mean, freaking. But I would put over. I would do the over. I think the opportunity is going to be there for him, and he's proven that he's not just a sidekick to Barkov. He's his own player, and we've seen success with him without Barkov. But I think it's not going to be with Sam Bennett. It's got to be with Anton Lundell.
I know this was a Panther-centric panel coming in, but I went on FanDuel, I went on other sites, and I wanted to put this number higher because I know I'm talking to all Panther fans here today, but they don't even have him listed in the top 6 to 8. I think Rocket Richard winners, which is pretty ridiculous for how good he's been. But I guess that number is coming down because of no Aleksander Barkov and maybe just the disrespect that Sam Reinhart still gets around the league. So that's kind of the number there. I even bumped it up by maybe a goal or two. So you could find some lower numbers out there if you're a gambling person, probably around a 38, 39, 40. If it's that, I would say hit it. I would still hit it on this number at 42.5. I think he's mid to high 40s. At the worst. So I'm going to go over. So all overs there. Now let's get into some interesting ones here. These ones tie in together. So we're going to do them back to back here. Over under Sam Bennett, 59.5 points. Let's start with Armando this time.
Oh, Lord.
We know where over at.
I also have one of my hot takes is related to Sam Bennett. So I'm going to go with the over on Sam Bennett. So I'll save the hot take part for later.
Okay, what's his career high, Armando? Let all of our audience know and explain it a little bit more why you're going here.
His career high was actually last year, just over 50. His career high was 51 last year, but pressures of a contract year for Sam Bennett. He's now going to be relied on more coming into this year. So I do believe that now with that weight off his shoulder, now he's arrived the confidence going into winning a Conn Smythe Trophy, the initiative that now he's going into year 2 of with Benny's buddies. I just think that it's gonna truly help him get to the over on this one.
So over for Armando. Nick.
I'm going to go under. I think there's a lot of other opportunities for Verhaeghe or for a Lundell show up. Sam Bennett on cold. I think he'll miss some games. Obviously, he always does. I do think it's above 51. I don't think it's quite to the 60 mark. I think it'll be around 55, 56. I don't see him getting quite to 60.
Cody.
This one's tough because
we were talking about it on the podcast, you and I remember.
Yeah, if in my opinion, for him to even get above 59 and a half points, he's got to be 30 plus goals.
He's got to be the goals. I'm with you there, Cody.
Like he's got to be the goals because he's not
33 goals probably somewhere in there.
It's got to be around there because his assist number is right around 20 to 24 range.
Yeah, I think
it's got to pick up now.
Maybe 30, 35.
I'm praying he's over with the Barkov injury. Like it's such a push for me because this is like kind of right around.
Like if he finished, I think it's like 55 to 60. That's where I had him at. I think it's going to be around 55, 56, 57.
Let me get this on record right now. If he's below his career high last year, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, we've been in agreement that the contract won't age well, but we know that the first few years will.
It should, but the thing is, like, for the point total, he doesn't get enough apples. Like, and for those who don't know, apples are assists.
I think if he gets
he's
55,
on my fantasy team, so I'm gonna go over because I picked him on accident. So
I don't feel confident. Are we all? So only Nick's under. I'll go slightly over because of the goals. I think he can score 32, 33.
I think he can. The assist thing is just.
But if he gets 33, 33.
I think he's going to finish around 30 goals. I think he's going to get maybe 24, 25. Like, again,
and you're lower on this then.
I don't think it's going to be assist as much. I think he's going to probably get around 30. He might even get upwards of 35 goals, Kirby. I mean, that's a possibility for him. I just don't.
What I'm saying, I said over, and now I feel like under.
I think if he finishes with 32 goals and 25 assists, which I think's very good.
I think that's where he's going to be at.
That's where I think he's going to be at.
Okay, I'm going to switch mine. I'm going to go under because I think he could miss some games and different things like that.
You know what? Like because I got to go with my hot take later. Under. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're all switching under.
I got to do it because after thinking about it, it's just like
Armando. I'm switching here. We'll go. Let's go Nick next here. I'm switching to under on Bennett because we're going right back to the well. But this time,
you're gonna call me a homer for this one. It's gonna be over. I think he's gonna get all the opportunity in the world. I think you take a look at what he did with Brad Marchand last year. I think he's gonna get the best matchups. Obviously, in terms of defending the other team's best, but I think sooner or later you're gonna see him on the power play. I think Anton Lundell. Seen him hovered around 40, 45, 50-ish, not playing with the greatest players. We've had Jesper Boqvist, Nick Cousins, no disrespect to those players. He's going to get a much better opportunity right off the get-go here playing with either Brad Marchand or Sam Reinhart. I think Lundell is going to be over 60 for sure.
Let's go Cody.
I'm like right there too with Lundell, but I'm probably going to go over. For me, just because what does Lundell get more of than Bennett really doesn't get more assists? Like Lundell's a better passer than the two, but Lundell to me needs to be around 20 goals this year for the Panthers to be successful because he is your second line center. So he has to. The big boy Panthers have to come on a bit for the points now.
Yeah,
and I could definitely see him around that 21 goals, 39 assists mark. I definitely think that's doable, especially with consistent top 6 minutes and especially power play time now. Because remember, Lundell never really got power play time last year. Even when Marchand came in, I don't even think he was on the unit in the playoffs because it was Schmidt, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Marchand, and Rodriguez. So
Rodriguez, the righty.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a big year for Anton Lundell, and I think he's trending upwards. I'm going over.
Okay, so 2 overs, Armando.
I'm going to go under because of the fact that he's going to be facing tougher assignments at 5-on-5. It's going to be a little harder to get the points up for Anton Lundell, and also the fact that he doesn't play the power play 1 minutes, so it's going to be harder to get those points. I mean, the power play 1 is there for like a minute and 15 seconds sometimes, and then there's not a lot of time, and sometimes if you're clearing, regaining the zone, there's not a lot of time to cycle the puck, so it's going to be a little difficult for Anton Lundell to get those opportunities there. So I'm going to say slightly under, but he's going to get a career high in points as he did. Last year was his career high with 45. We could see somewhere around 52 to 55, in my opinion.
So Armando on the under there, Nick and Cody on the over. I'm going to go on the over. It ties into my next guy here on the over-under and my hot take a little later on. I'm going to take the over because I think Anton Lundell's ceiling is a 70, 75-point guy, and it can happen as early as this year. But the part I do tend to agree with Armando on is, like, there's no power play time there. They've got to give them power play time. If an injury goes down, they don't like what's happening in the faceoff circle with their alignment on the power play, with a lack of playmakers that you have out of the lineup. You're missing 2 of your best playmakers, in Matthew Tkachuk and Aleksander Barkov. Let's be honest here. I want Matthew Tkachuk to shoot the puck more, but he's always looking to distribute and pass and things like that. So, again, I'm with you there, Armando, if the opportunity isn't there, but I think the ceiling is far greater than Sam Bennett with point totals, and you're actually going to play him with talent this year, and you were going to play him with talent anyways, Armando, when Brad Marchand extended in Florida. So I was seeing a big year ahead, and now I'm seeing all the fantasy pundits and all the experts out there like lock into Anton Lundell now because this is the best price you're ever going to get on him in fantasy leagues and things like that. So I'm going to go over on Anton Lundell there. We'll go to 2 more here. Our next one, over under. Gustav Forsling, plus 40. I believe that number was around plus 31 last year, around there, Armando. Someone can check for me.
Well, I'll say under.
On average is around that.
I say under just because I think our goal differential is going to be worse this year without Barkov. That's clear and obvious. It could still be around plus 25, plus 30. That's still damn good, but plus 40. I mean, he didn't even get there last year. I mean, why the hell would he get there this year?
He has the previous year, so I wanted to average it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think – I think plus 20, plus 30 in that range. Plus the goal differential is going to be in that range. I think it's not going to – the goal differential is not going to be as good this year. I mean, that's just basically what it comes down to.
I don't want to say too much on this because it's part of my hot take. Cody, you want to jump in next?
I'm also going under just because I don't think we're going to score that many goals as years past. And that attributes the plus minus. He's probably going to get most of his percentage from the empty net goals that we score, with like 5 seconds left or whatever the case may be, because really the only time he really gets on the minuses is 5-on-5 because he's not out there for any other time. Like power play, you don't get -1. Power play, he's not out there for the shorthanded goal. So really I'm right around plus 31 or something, just always be right around there. Like if he's minus, we're in trouble, but like
I'm not going that hot.
but I'm right around like plus 27 to plus 35 range. I don't think it's necessarily plus 40.
Okay, so under, and this is like a Panther baked in number. And again, going back on his past stats, Armando, I didn't want to put it too low because that's an easier one for you guys to maybe go on the over. Armando.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned that he'd probably get a lot of his pluses when there's empty net situations, which is crazy. You don't get a plus or a minus on power play, but you do when there is an extra
because it's technically 5-on-5 play.
Technically, but yeah, but when the Panthers during the President's Trophy winning season, he had plus 41, and that was because the Panthers were outscoring all their problems. this is not gonna. The Panthers, like Cody said, they're gonna be struggling to get goals to begin with. So their foundation, it's gonna be on the defensive side of things. The analytics are gonna look outstanding once again for Gustav Forsling because the way the Panthers are built, they built from the goaltender out. But I'm gonna go under as well. I think it's gonna be maybe like I think maybe if you're plus 28 for the season based on the circumstances for the Panthers, you're still in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I want to address this too much because it's going to be my hot take coming up here after our last over and under ahead here. So I'm going to go under. I'm going to explain a little bit more in depth on my hot take with a player that I'm tying in with Gustav Forsling. So I'm going to go under as well. So I guess under across the board here on Gustav Forsling. Over under, gentlemen. I really had a hard time setting this number through everything. Sergei Bobrovsky.
He's right there. I think
Armando?
he's right there.
Yeah, hold on, Armando. Yeah, go ahead.
Just over. I think the Olympic break is going to be beneficial for him, and the fact that the Panthers are going to be, there's going to be more of those Daniil Tarasov starts with the back-to-back, but I really do believe that Sergei Bobrovsky just loves playing hockey. If he lived in the era where you were making 70 starts, he would be all for it. So I do believe that Sergei Bobrovsky won't want to hold back from getting between the pipes unless there's an injury.
So the over slight.
Barring any injury, over, and I think it's right around that 52 to 55 game mark.
I'm going to go over because I think we're going to play more regular season games that matter.
Yeah.
So it's going to require him to start more because we're not going to be locked in a playoff spot in December. I don't think so. I would love that. I'm right around 50. This is going to say I'm at like 53 starts for Bob. 53, 54, just somewhere around there. Just because it's just going to matter a bit more this year without Barkov. So, I mean, probably right where I'm at. I'm just slightly over.
I'll be the contrarian here, even though I agree with everything you guys are saying there. I think it could be like right near that number of 50, 51. I think they want to get Tarasov some more starts here. We could see a third goalie here. We haven't seen, I don't want to wish this, we haven't seen injury from Sergei Bobrovsky. Misses any time, week to week, things like that. That'll bring that number down as well. And the things that I've heard internally from the team, they want to keep them right around that 50 number. So I think if you consider all of that tied into there, and you guys, we're going to get into one more here after this. You guys truly believe this is a playoff team. I think there is some chances to be able to rest them there. But if you're playing down the stretch to like claw and scrape to get in the playoffs, then I think Sergei Bobrovsky is definitely over this number. But I just think there's a lot of different parameters there that the organization is trying to bring that number down a bit. So I'll be the contrarian. I'll go slightly under. The last one, I lied earlier. The last one, and this will tie into when we close tonight here. So don't go into your whole Atlantic Division preview here. Just go into what you think about the Panthers. Over, under, Florida Panthers this year, 100.5 points. That number's pretty high out there still when you see them on betting sites and different people predicting it.
96 or 97.
So that's an indictment on the division or kind of where the Panthers are at right now? Because you guys not.
It depends. Who do we get in the trade?
Yep.
That's the
Barkov
question.
come back in February like he insinuated to Eric Spoelstra?
You expect the player to be confident like that, of course. Like
how low are we talking, guys? I'll go
96, 97.
Yeah, I think around there. It's going to be
95 would be their absolute floor, but the last team in last year was 92 points. So remember, the Panthers had the record for most points without making the playoffs back in 2018.
Tied with the Calgary Flames
95 or
last year.
Something.
Yeah. So.
Tied with the Calgary Flames last year.
That's right.
You talk about this all the time. Teams were stumbling down the stretch on our NHL.
Look, man, no one wanted that spot. I don't care what you tell me. No one wanted that spot. Montreal was bumbling and fumbling. Columbus was doing the same thing. The Islanders were doing the same thing. The Rangers never got back on the damn tracks. They were just driving on the side of the road, with their thumb out like this, just hoping someone to take up for a ride. It's like no one wanted that spot last year.
Yeah. So I don't want to compare it off of that, So when we say under, it's going to be slightly to the under. If it's 95, 96 points, we could be in a bit of trouble. I know what Armando just said, 92 last year.
I don't know about that.
I don't think we could be playing around that 95.
I don't know about that because I think the East got a lot better, more competitive all around.
Detroit.
So I could see that number staying there.
Who knows with Buffalo?
I could definitely see that number staying there. But 100 points, if we get to 100 points, oh boy.
Remember,
Well-
success isn't linear neither. And the Montreal Canadiens, although they had a great season, I'm not sure if that will go from one year to the next of making it to the
Tell
playoffs.
that to me and Kirby.
I mean,
Yeah.
Kirby has him,
Armando, when we give
Kirby
our
has him
full-
second right now. So, I mean,
Yeah. I think you're going to be around that number if you're second in the Atlantic. I don't know how high that number is going to be if you're winning the division. I don't have the Panthers winning the
division, I think you're going to be around 104, 105.
104, 105, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, before the injury, the over under was set at 105.5 because my division preview for Locked On was recorded before the Barkov injury.
We
And I
waited
didn't
to do
under
it
then.
for this week. And with your schedule, Armando. So thank you.
Yeah.
But I think that was the last of them. But
Yeah, so let's jump into our hot takes here. You guys are going to type them into our window there behind production wall here. I'm going to go with mine first because I do have it typed in. Everyone help Armando there in the private chat. Hot takes of, where do I have it here? That's not where I am. Let me find it here, gentlemen. Here we go. Kirby's hot take. Gustav Forsling will not lead the team in plus minus. Anton Lundell will. Why do I say this? Gustav Forsling, who does he play with normally to help boast those plus minus numbers there, Nick? We always talk about this on our post-game show. None other than Aleksander Barkov. So if Aleksander Barkov's not out there, who's Gustav Forsling's centerman? And I think with Barkov not being out there, I think that affects Sam Reinhart's defensive abilities. I know he's the second in Selke, but let's see what he's like defensively with Aleksander Barkov. So I think that top line and that top pairing where Gustav Forsling is always attached to, I think that takes a big hit this year. And I'm big on Anton Lundell, a lot bigger than a lot of you. Maybe here in the chat, you let me know. But if he goes off for 65, 70, 75 points, I think he can win the plus-minus award for the Panthers this season. He can be upwards of those high 20s, low 30s, like you guys said earlier. I don't think that number gets to 40. So I think that's an advantage to Anton Lundell. And who led us in plus-minus during the playoffs?
And let's just add to it. You want to know why I know there's another big reason this could happen? Lundell's in the same situation Forsling's in, where he'll probably the only other time Lundell could probably get a minus is maybe power play 2 now. Like shorthanded, you don't get a minus. He's not out there for 6-on-5 when we need a goal. So guess what? There's no empty net or minus right there.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the ice for when we need to. He's going to be on the ice now for when we need to keep a goal out of the net, and we score an empty net. Guess what? That's a plus.
And he might be with Mikkel and Jones, and I like that pairing to drive offense from the back end. That's where I'm at. That's where I've always been at. That's where we drive our offense with that middle pairing a lot of times, especially in the regular season.
But anyway, we have Armando's hot take next. Because he just tailed right into it.
Okay.
Here we go. Seth Jones will be in the Norris conversation.
Love it.
Whoa!
Love it.
We already have AP Jones following us here, Nick.
I'm not saying he'll win it, but the added power play time, the way he could get to the puck from the point and create those rebound opportunities, which, like we mentioned, our biggest concern is the Panthers converting on those because Barkov and Tkachuk have a whole lot of beef on them with their ability to muscle through the blue paint around the goaltender. But I think that Seth Jones and getting a full season, I think that he's going to get a lot of those points come to man advantage as well and playing those big minutes there. So I think that's going to really help him in making a case for the Norris Trophy, not necessarily winning it. And he was invited to Team USA's orientation camp for the Olympics. His stock is higher than it's the highest it's been since he was in Columbus. So I think Seth Jones' reputation is right back as one of the top D-men in the NHL.
Right,
I love that.
Seth Jones.
Is it time for mine?
Yes, Nick, I'll go ahead and click on yours right there.
My hot take, Brad Marchand turns back the clock, puts 30-plus goals, 70-plus points. Brad Marchand becomes the Brad Marchand of old.
Wait, I need to get it, Nick. Where is it?
Wow.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Yes, I think Brad Marchand, the expanded opportunity. I think we're going to get somebody at the deadline, whether it be Barkov coming back. I don't think it's going to be that, or getting somebody at the deadline. Brad Marchand is going to put this team on his back. We saw what he can do in the playoffs. He's got some juice left.
I go watch that Game 7 against Toronto over and over again.
70-plus points, 30-plus goals.
All right.
Okay.
You know what? Like I've had like one consistent hot take throughout the year, but everyone's heard it. I like Anton Lundell will have more points than Sam Bennett. This one I switched.
Can I just jump in here quick, Cody? We have this message there. I had that from our After Dark there. I just wanted to put that on the screen on Brad Marchand there.
But my hot take is Carter Verhaeghe will score 50 plus this year and finish top 3 in the league in goals.
Wow.
Again, Nick.
It honestly, if you take a look at where he's been in the past, it's not a far stretch to think it's possible if he
He did in the AHL.
right? Like again, like what did he finish with a couple of years ago? 42? 41. So what is that? An extra?
This is in the ballpark. And listen, you go look at my Twitter bet. This is going to change pretty soon because I have a bet to make up, and it's probably going to change within the next week or so. But I have the Carter Verhaeghe believer banner on my Twitter, and I'm going to stick to it. I think Verhaeghe last year had a really slow start. I thought he was extremely unlucky last year. I really do. Hit a lot of posts.
8% shooting.
Goalies robbed him. Like he was getting robbed blind. And for this, and I think Verhaeghe with the absence of Barkov, listen, you want to know also why I drove inspiration to this? When Barkov was out in Verhaeghe's first year in the 2021 season, Carter Verhaeghe was on the first line wing with Noel Acciari against the Dallas Stars. Carter Verhaeghe then proceeds to pot a hat trick, including a shorthanded goal, top cheese over, they believe it was Jake Ottinger. So, I
remember that game. It was a shorthanded goal, a power play goal, and an even strength goal. Yeah. It was one each in that one.
Yes. So he could do all three, and and it's just I think he's going to be finished. He'll probably score 50 plus, put in like another 30, 35 to 40 assists, have an 80 to 90 point season, could lead the team. So that's just where that's where my hot take is.
Was he at orientation camp for Canada?
I think he was.
Yes. He was. Okay.
So
he's on the team, Cody? You want to double down?
Is he on the team? Probably not.
Or he's having this type of season. Oh.
Probably not because, I think they have other guys penciled in for what they want to do.
Yeah, it's because of what Verhaeghe doesn't do about playing. He doesn't play PK. He's not even he's interchanging on the Panthers power play one, and Canada's gonna have guys on power play 2 for them who are on power play 1s for their club teams. So
yeah,
I think Verhaeghe's just gonna miss out.
He's gonna have to. I know this with this hot take segment, Cody, but he's gonna have to really establish himself on the power play 1 like he never has before with the Panthers. The opportunity's there. See if he takes it.
But yeah, I got Verhaeghe potting 50 plus.
There we go.
And being
these are pretty bold. I'll say that.
Listen, this is hot takes, man. These are meant to be wrong.
Started it off. Hey, everyone better be bringing that to our post game show.
Listen, my greatest hot take was a year too short. Like I thought Reinhart was going to lead us in points.
You got to give me credit for that. I have that on the screen here.
And I was a year too late.
I wanted you guys to talk about this before we get to predictions because Beef Cat's talking about this in the chat. He says, "Cool. I'm baffled why people think Barkov cannot come back."
Well,
err on the side of caution.
It's also like here's the thing with Barkov being half Russian. I always go back to this quote: "Russian machine never break." And I need him to tap into that. So I don't know. I don't think it's out of the question that he comes back. But the thing is he coming back and being Aleksander Barkov? Because if he's not coming back and being Aleksander Barkov, you shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Armando, how many people were upset with Aleksander Barkov last year? I'm not going to call it simple like I did the other day. I'll say pretty gruesome hand injury, and he struggled in situations and spots there. We're talking about the ACL, MCL, major surgery here, Armando.
Yeah, and 2 ligaments, not 1. And to come back from that when Barkov has, you get this, you at least start getting on the ice maybe around like February, but you're not going through the game reps and game action and game speed, everything in between. So and the thing is, for the way Aleksander Barkov plays, I think that, and here's the thing: what have fans complained most about Aleksander Barkov throughout of the playoffs is the fact that he doesn't quote unquote produce points.
Doesn't score enough. Doesn't shoot enough.
But what do you need Aleksander Barkov to do? Shut down the team's best. And I do think that would possibly carry over from the injury. Even then, the goal scoring will likely not be there, and the apples. But I think that if you could at least bring him there to at least try to defend the team's best, I think he could still be effective. It's just, can the knee hold up?
See, I don't know the way that he plays in the he doesn't base his whole game off of speed. I get that, but leaning on guys, the acceleration, that push, and if it's not there, you're going to see Barkov try, but you're going to see that body language. It's just not quite the same Barkov, and you're like, okay, what is he doing out there? Then fans and all that get on, oh, he's not scoring enough, he's not producing enough. Then what is he in that situation? And he's playing against the best in the world in those situations, because it's going to be the playoffs. The Matthews, McDavid, if it happened again, Jack Eichel, like
Kucherov.
What?
Kucherov,
yeah. Like right now, like I know it's preseason, but man, Kucherov had a lot of open ice out there. And it's like, I was already envisioning what's this going to look like during the regular season without Aleksander Barkov out there. A lot of guys, the Mitch Marner types of the world. I know he's over there in Vegas now. Guys that, Larkin, Cody's big on Raymond, like a lot more ice. The Buffalo Sabre forwards. Like that stuff that we didn't see before within the division. There's going to be a lot more time and space out there for these guys to operate in the regular season. So you wonder what it would look like in the playoffs. Barkov's got to be back to optimal health, because I don't want to risk long-term ramifications on short-term, even though we're trying to go for the three-peat. There's names out here this year, Armando, and I'm excited about them, the prospects of it at least. And you don't always see this. And with the new cap, Bill Zito's not in a gap year here. So we have a lot of options, even with this Aleksander Barkov news. And then we got Matthew Tkachuk coming back. That's like an addition too.
Yeah, no doubt. And thankfully that it's funny because now the Matthew Tkachuk injury, when you're looking at the December early timeline, we're kind of optimistic about it now based on what we knew from before the Tkachuk injury to now after with the Barkov injury. And the thing is, the Panthers are going to have a really home-heavy schedule to start the season. Their longest homestand after the Winter Classic is 3 games. So the Panthers really
I was really pissed about that. I was really pissed about that.
Yeah,
because we're like really front-loaded with home games, and then you have like the normal like home Montreal at the end of December, but now the home Ranger one's the Winter Classic now.
California's early this year.
Yeah, and it's no back-to-backs, no California back-to-backs. So that's another
Western Canadian trip is in March. No, I don't remember the last time that's ever happened. So I think that's a bit of an advantage.
With Barkov out, we won't have to worry about him getting sick out there. So
might be. I'm wearing shorts to that game, Armando. I don't care if there's even a little bit of snow in the forecast. I don't care.
But the thing is just. By the way, can we release those Winter Classic jerseys by now? I want one. Please. I don't care what it looks like. Like, for the love of God, like we need to release them. And last little bit of rant.
Oh yeah, but we still got to do our predictions at the end for the division.
Yeah,
come in.
Let's stop playing the Tampa Bay Lightning in the preseason.
Yes, please.
Let's stop it, because
so much goonery.
Neither one of these teams were angels.
No,
at all. We were the cause of the first game. Tampa was the cause of the second game.
Yeah,
that's about the way I could put it. Mm-hmm. I love, like, people are all like, don't understand that AJ Greer is like, oh, he's an AHL guy. Dude, he was up in the NHL the entire year last year. Just to let you guys know, we're not throwing out like Scott Sabrin to go after our different guys. Just saying, John Cooper.
And I put a tweet on this. Some people got butthurt by it. I don't care, whatever. People are like, oh, what's John Cooper doing? He's done this in the past with the Walcott brothers or whatever. He's put thugs out there on the ice just like he did the other night, and running around, and they're trying to take out Barkov and Huberdeau. He's done this before. And then Tampa fans are going at Florida fans like, you guys are new fans. You haven't been watching this for 2-3 years. Well, Tampa, you haven't either, with Patrick Maroon and all those guys you used to put out there too. What was the guy that was the defenseman, Jan Ruda, that was rodeoing
Barkov,
trying to go for 8 seconds on his back or whatever.
Yeah.
So this stuff has been happening. Do fans not realize on both sides, right? So that was
And
pretty
Pat Maroon's now part of the Tampa Bay broadcast team. Yeah.
And Armando, I was listening to the Thursday game, and he was inciting the team. I bet he went down in the locker room and told those guys that. Him and Ryan Malone were saying, this is embarrassment for the organization, and you guys need to AJ Greer needs to answer for this. So I think John Cooper probably let those guys in the room, and that started all. So the media is responsible for it, the former players. He's mentioning Brandon Montour's name. He's not even on the team anymore, Patrick Maroon. Like, get him out of your head, rent-free, man.
Listen,
it was
that second to last game of the 2021 season is still stuck in Pat Maroon's head. That's when the Fat Pat jokes started. The Panthers were wearing their retro uniforms, and then it carried over when he was in Minnesota. He's like, I remember.
Montour is throwing some of that out there. That he's still
he's the one who started that. He's the one who started that nickname.
Yeah, because he's just looking at him. He's just going Fat Pat, and then Maroon goes after him again. But here's
then Patrick Maroon moved to ice level the other night, Armando, and he was still talking.
Listen. Let's be real here.
That incited a lot of it.
But let's be real here, because I don't care what anything's gonna say, because this is what I believe and this is what I know. You guys don't have a leader, because the one leader you guys did have, his name was Steven Stamkos. He up and left and went to Nashville. That's why you guys had to bring in Pat Maroon to pump up the team before Game 5, and guess what? Pumped. 6-3. See you later, buddy. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. Fans are on different sides here. They're getting on Vasi. I'm like, he's the furthest from my concern.
Let's be real here.
What do you want? Panthers had 14 power plays. What do you want Vasi to do?
Kucherov, it's not the best winger in the NHL. I don't care what anyone says, because no best winger in the NHL is going to go 10 consecutive playoff games without a damn goal. And he hasn't scored a playoff goal since 2022?
23, I would say.
23. My bad. So I'm just like that franchise frustrates the hell out of me. Just because here's the thing. And once again, we can't be, as a Panthers fans, we can't be running people from behind like that.
No, I didn't like
what Greer did to Hagel. None of that. We can't have any of that. And that's what kind of kickstarted the whole gong show, because the two games were damn gong show.
Swaggy, they attacked Mackey. They were going at Erod. Erod says stuff out on the ice, so he deserves some of that. But they were going after guys like Forsley. They didn't put Forsley in the lineup there the other night, and they were going to go at him for sure, because they were going at him the night before.
And what AJ Greer did to Dashdruce.
Yes. And then the Panthers, they tweeted it out. We're saying on the broadcast, they were laughing about that. So that just stoked the fire even more. I'm like, oh man,
that was a funny
and
moment.
You add Brad Marchand to this mix. And Matthew Tkachuk wasn't even out there, and he's one of the best chirpers in the NHL.
This Ekblad stuff isn't going to stop Armando. When Tkachuk gets out there, that's going to incite stuff with the Hagel stuff. They're going to take more runs at guys like Verhaeghe and Forsling. They could decide what to put out there in the regular season, but like you said, you can't put that lineup probably out there in the regular season. But they're going to try to. Cooper's going back to what he did 3-4 years ago with Jonathan Huberdeau and Aleksander Barkov. Can't beat him on the score sheet. We'll beat him another way, right? And everyone around the league's now this is how you have to deal with the Panthers. Well, try it.
Please.
Let's not forget during their back-to-back last year, there was that knee-on-knee collision between Kucherov and Tkachuk as well.
The Gensel stuff that they talk about.
The empty netter. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. This had Armando. This. You've been covering the team even longer, I think, than I've been doing this stuff. This has been going on for 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
Not years. It goes back.
Wait, well,
this goes back to when Sam Bennett charged that Ross Colton.
Yes. Yeah. Right. But when that
but Ryan McDonough hit Barkov from behind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Or was it Jan Ruda?
Yeah, no, and I'll never forget when Duclair slashed Kucherov.
And I remember that. That was so. Oh my God.
Cooper was crying
right in the kisser.
Yep.
I don't know, man. That's just it's the rivalry is back, but I don't think it ever went away.
I don't think. Listen, this is the first time this rivalry is here, because they legit cannot play a game against each other without this being a gong show.
They hate each other. They cannot stand each other.
And they're playing each other a lot earlier this year than they did last year, which was weird around December.
Oh, great. So we're going to have 150 pins again.
November 15th is the first one. December 15th is the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that. We'll work our way up to that game. And, let's go out there and see what it's all about. And it might not happen that first game back, but I think it's going to happen.
But yeah, I have to get that off my chest. Just stop playing them. Play Nashville or something. I don't care.
They used to play friggin' Calgary and Edmonton in the preseason.
Hell, go play Seattle. Go see some scenery. Go play, I don't know.
Do Vegas, or is that going to stir stuff
Do
up?
Utah. Hell, do Utah. Go to Utah. Like we don't hate anyone there. Hell, we have a lot of former teammates over there. I like Utah. But
who's going to start with predictions here? We want to go from top to bottom because Armando did his predictions early. So did we when the Barkov injuries happened.
All right, we've shifted up here.
Okay.
Tampa 1, Toronto 2, Ottawa 3, Florida 4, Montreal 5, Detroit 6, Buffalo 7, Boston 8.
Nick?
Tampa 1, Toronto 2, Florida 3, Montreal wildcard 1, Ottawa wildcard 2.
And then the bottom?
For me in the division, I really wanted to put Detroit, but I wasn't going to go that far. I have
what you had before?
I had Buffalo 8th, Boston 7th, and Detroit 6th.
Okay. I'm going to stick pretty much with the same at the top. I'm just bumping the Panthers down. I'll go number 1, Toronto. I know the Joseph Wall stuff. That gives me a little bit of pause, but I think if Joseph Wall comes back in middle November, early December, the Leafs will be fine. And I like what Craig Berube did last year. I know, Cody, you questioned them coming into the year last year with the new coach. They were really good from the jump. And I think their defense is established back there. So we talk about our defense.
Let me put on record. I did not question Berube's coaching ability. I questioned the adaptability of the players to his system. I thought they would struggle out the gate. Let's just put that out there. I did not question Berube's coaching ability.
Morgan Riley struggled especially.
Yeah, and I think he'll bounce back this year.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah, just to clarify on that. Number 2, Montreal. I have bumped them up from like where I had them at 3 because now the Panthers are going to drop a little bit down. I had the Panthers, I think I want to say at 2, and I had Montreal at 3. So I have Montreal at 2. I'm bumping Tampa up. I was really just get set on them being a wild card team. They can win the division. I'll bump them up to 3. They could be interchangeable with Toronto there, but I think Montreal's in that mix. This is where it gets difficult. I'd like to say Florida 2 wild card, but I'll go Florida 1, and I'm going to go Ottawa 2. But Ottawa could be the surprise team of the Atlantic now with all this shuffling around with the Panthers injuries and things like that. They could finish as high as I want to say 2nd, but I'll go 2nd wild card for Ottawa. And then I have last, I have Boston. In 7th, I have Buffalo, and then I've got Detroit in that 6th spot outside of the playoffs, but they'll tease for the wild card. But I think 5 teams come out of the Atlantic still, Armando.
Mine are Tampa Bay, Toronto, Florida, Ottawa, and that's going to be it for the playoff teams. I think we're going to have 4 and 4 from each division, and then Montreal misses out. Detroit, Boston, and then Buffalo. But I could also see a scenario where Boston bounces back and is the first team out of the wild card because you have an elite winger in Pasternak, defenseman in Charlie
Boston.
McAvoy.
You never count him out.
And Jeremy Swayman, he has a full training camp this year.
I think Swayman has to be up for the Vezina.
He's got
it can happen.
Like how Kachuk was up for the Hart the year we scraped in. I feel the same thing with Swayman.
And the thing is, I have Buffalo last. Although they made the trade, the Peterka trade, to be more defensively responsible. You're taking away goal scoring from that, and I just think on paper they're not as strong as they were the year before.
It was just I stared at Buffalo's lineup and then I stared at Boston's lineup and I couldn't bring myself to say, because Buffalo has too much damn talent to be this damn bad.
Yes.
And I'm looking at Boston they have a lot more question marks on the forward front.
And they might want to tank.
Compared to Buffalo.
And they finished last year, Boston.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting here. I'm just I can't in good conscience. In my conscience, I'm just let me put Boston in Buffalo 7 because I think Detroit's still better because Detroit has John Gibson now.
I'm with you all on that, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just
now gets injured, which is the big thing for him. The health card, they could finish last.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And Buffalo, there is a world they could finish 5th. There is a world of it. They would.
Yeah, they have talent to do it. Like they
Do
could
you guys
finish
agree
with.
there's a world for that, but also Ottawa for second in the division?
Yeah,
There's a world for all of it because I think Olmark's a pretty good regular season goaltender.
Jake Sanderson's awesome
Yeah.
as well. So I think he's going to take another step.
And that got better defensively.
Their division placement really just relies on whether Dylan Cousins is a good fit or not, and whether or not they can actually get Nick Jensen incorporated into the damn team.
Well, if he's healthy, we talked about it the other episode, Kirby. Is Nick Jensen going to be healthy this year? Remember, he was banged up pretty much a lot of the last season, and I think where you really saw him struggle the most was in that Toronto series because I don't think he was bad. I think it was exactly what Ottawa needed. They needed a veteran guy to kind of help them stabilize some things. He had that hip resurfacing surgery over the offseason. If they're able to kind of get him healthy, if he's recovered, I think that low-key Ottawa could be like a really scary team, especially if guys like Stützle take that is there another level to them, right? Like they're elite level players. Is there that next step? Batherson, the same thing. But I mean, the way this all shakes out, Florida being without Barkov, is Tampa Bay, is this the year they finally fall off a little bit? Can it Toronto being without Marner, does it open up room for Ottawa is the thing.
And I want to say this to Armando, so he hears this on the record from me. Montreal, you might be like, why are you so high on them, Kirby? I think they addressed the 2C need, and I love the additions of Dobson and Bolduc, and Demidov is almost like an addition too. They only had him at the end of last year, so it's like 3 new players to that lineup. So they're not going to be static or stale or be like, hey, we met all our expectations. Some of these guys want to have career years or like rebound from where they were a couple years ago in someone like Noah Dobson.
Yeah, and Montreal was deep in their deep prospect pool. So trading Logan Mailloux, although he brought a lot of baggage when he was drafted, it's like, okay, fill a position of need at forward because you have so much in your decor for the Canadiens. And yeah, a lot of people people don't talk about enough of how great Caden Gooley is, a true defensive defenseman.
He's the next Taves and Slavin.
But the problem is he's that for 40 games a year.
Yes, this problem, the health card.
It's.
But you have Reinbacher coming through. You've got whatever they're doing.
Yeah,
but
I
like the balance of their. Oh, you got Mike Matheson now, not playing number 1 defense.
But here's the issue with Montreal for me, anyway. It's like they're just like always like with rebuilds. At least for me, what I've seen in New Jersey is a perfect description of this. Is they are like on a trajectory, always on the up, and then they hit that speed bump.
They're built different than New Jersey. They're not soft.
Not really.
No, okay. Well, Cody,
New Jersey won a round and then bounced out. Montreal won a game and bounced out.
They're built around Dougie Hamilton.
Which this could be his last year in New Jersey, by the way. He has some clauses.
Yeah, I think it'll be done. But the thing is like Noah Dobson isn't a for sure thing because he went from 70 points to 30 points.
Yeah, I'm confident he reaches.
And the Islanders' goals for didn't change all that much. So where the hell was the drop off at?
He was in Islander jail, like I told you. He's going to
score like the same amount of goals.
He could play PP1, or you can put him on PP2, and then you worry about his other things. Like you can insulate him.
And then, I'm a huge believer in this. Like I've said this already. Sophomore slump with Lane Hudson. I'm a huge believer in it.
Yeah, you're crazy to think that all those guys last year are going to have sophomore slumps. Celebrini, Wolf.
All of them, like more Wolf and Hudson, not really Celebrini.
Okay, well that's your personal bias coming in. I don't think that's going to happen with someone.
But it's like there's a speed bump somewhere, and I think it's this year. And it's due to the fact I don't think they're really great defensively on the forward front.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And then the PK. That's the weakness.
And I think they're going to learn.
I
think they're going to learn the lesson Ottawa did a couple years ago. But no matter what, at the trade deadline, no matter what position they're in, Montreal should be buyers for a center for the future.
Tons of money, and they are buyers. Yeah.
They need to be like at the deadline, no matter what position they are in. If they're in or they're out, it doesn't matter.
They can finally accrue cap space now with Trey Price's contract now.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hate about Tkachuk and Barkov being an LTR right now. We can't accrue anything. We could barely accrue then, but then I'm like,
But if you're just to kind of wrap here too, Armando, like if you're looking at this division, you're seeing what's happening with the Florida Panthers. Again, they base more what's going to happen in the postseason, the regular season. Your team like Montreal, we mentioned Ottawa already. This is your time now. Be aggressive. Like make this jump now, right? And your team like New Jersey and the Metro, you don't lollygag around. You take this serious and you try to get home ice. You try to get a top seeding in the Eastern.
Getting cap space, ladies and gentlemen, after this year because Mikkola signed for $5 million per. That ain't much. Bob's probably gonna be around $6 million per. That ain't that much either.
People I think Florida's going away, Armando. They got nothing.
Mac
They got no clue.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. With the franchise values released and the Panthers being at a 51% increase, me thinks that $104 million projected cap for next year, I think it's going to be higher.
I can see that, but listen, like it's kind of crazy to see the teams Florida have jumped in the valuations. Like I think we're ahead of like St. Louis and Philly.
They are over Calgary and Vancouver.
Calgary, Vancouver, yep.
Like,
I mean, Vancouver's been around
17th?
for 55 years. They've been around for 55 years and they haven't won the cup. So
I think Calgary has a lot to do with the arena right now.
We're 17th. We're ahead of Vancouver, Calgary, Colorado, Minnesota, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Nashville, Anaheim, St. Louis, San Jose, Utah, Buffalo, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Columbus. Like it's
and
we're
Pittsburgh's up for sale again.
Yeah, they just got bought. How are they up for sale again?
2 new groups, right, Armando?
Fenway bought them. No?
One's related. Yes, Fenway bought them, but they're trying to sell again.
Yeah.
So
Cody knew that 2 groups.
Why? But it's kind of crazy to be ahead of a team like Colorado for a certain, for me anyway. Like
Minnesota's a wild one. I understand some of the Canadian ones, the economy, dollar, all that. Also Calgary with the arena. But that I think we're like meeting our ceiling to where we would be. And I just like Armando, you talk about this a lot on your show. I just want us to maintain that. Maintain where you're at right now, maintain that. And I think that's where the fan base can grow and stuff like that. Fan base can match hopefully one day where the evaluation of the team is in that realm. There.
Yeah, and I don't have it right in front of me, but I think there was like a $0.05 billion difference between 13th and 17th. There, so
13th was Dallas at 1.94 billion.
Yeah, not
17th is it's 0.5.
0.05.
0.05 billion from Florida.
So 500 million.
Yeah.
Yep. So
sounds a little bit more magnitude when you say it like that.
Like, hey, we're a Mikkola contract away.
Basically. Hey, is Bobrovsky next? I haven't heard anything, but when we signed Carter Verhaeghe last year, that would be interesting. Be fun.
Listen, the minute Spencer Knight was traded last year, it signaled everything. Bob's coming back. I'm not really necessarily I'm not worried about that contract. Really, I'm really not.
No, but the organization, Armando, is as high on him as anyone, and I'm a Bob believer. But it's like, wow, like you're looking at a 3, 4, maybe 5-year deal. Very interesting.
See what they did with Marchand. I think that deal is going to get done sooner rather than later.
We'll know by the trade deadline when projections are starting to come out, and usually that's when deals extensions come into the mix. So that's when.
You don't think it's happening anytime soon, is what you're telling me? If I'm reading the tea leaves,
I don't think it'll be immediate, if anything. But but here's the thing. What is the typical Sergei Bobrovsky response when it comes to
we just got
I'm going to focus on hockey.
I'm going to focus on one moment at a time. If Bob walks all the way to June 30th and then he gets a contract, then I think he'll be okay with it and at peace.
To me, I feel like it's the Reinhardt thing. Once the season starts, he's focused on the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the season ends, okay, then we can talk. Because I feel like that's what Bob has been ever since. Like he's kind of changed his mentality a bit a couple of years back. Really devoting himself to religion. Like I think about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
because he was a bit of a wild, like a little bit of a party animal coming into Florida. I mean, those pictures of him and Artemi Panarin, and the video of them on the boat after they signed both of their big deals that summer.
I remember that old video of Bob on the elliptical saying, "Let's go Panthers."
Yeah.
I got that one too.
I still think my favorite photo of Bob's like at the press conference. He's just in front of the Panthers logo, just thumbs up like this. Like
I got some new ones this year from the summer.
But him and that Mario cap is hilarious.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I have.
But
I'm going to use that on loss.
Bob contract, not worried about it. Just because he is vital to this team. I mean, I can't put that in any higher caps than that. Vital. But
my Edmonton uncle said, "Hey, if you guys want Connor McDavid, you got to give us the Rat Kachuk and your goalie." I'm like, it ain't.
It's
happening.
a perfect note
The
to
goalie
end
is-
off of.
Go get your own goalie.
A perfect note to end off of.
Yeah.
Tell your cousin, your uncle,
Uncle.
blow it at his ass because it ain't happening.
There you go.
Good night, everybody.
but
Armando, where can I guess we can wrap there as Nick's wrapping us. Where can everyone follow you? What do you got ahead here?
Oh man, what do I have ahead? Follow Locked On Florida Panthers podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. YouTube, I'll be putting on a show tomorrow. Just doing my own predictions myself, individual as well, just like we did here. I'll be traveling to South Florida for the ring ceremony as well as opening night on Tuesday against the Chicago Blackhawks. And also I will be making my first local TV appearance on WPTV in West Palm Beach, which is also part of the Scripps Network. I'll be joining Mike Trim to record a show of Panthers 360 this week. So follow me there. I'll me personally on X at MondoMan12, and I'll be posting a whole bunch of Florida Panthers content as we're in for another season, boys. As like I said at the top, it's going to be a regular season that we are actually going to. The level of importance is higher than ever.
Armando, I'm so happy for you. I've got to know you through my own content creation, building this brand over here. Value our talks on and off air a lot. So I'm very happy for you and continue to see that growth here this season ahead. Cody.
Yes, sir.
Oh, if I could just say one thing. For the Tuesday home opener, we're excited. We're ready to go. And if we lose, remember, everybody panic, sell the team. We're absolutely screwed. Fire Maurice, fire Zito.
I just realized
Get rid of
the
everybody.
Barkov injury opens that up because I just realized no one's going to say, "Oh, we can wait the playoffs now." I'm like, damn it.
And before we do go here too, guys, bottom of the screen, follow us there on the Twitter X platform. Myself, Cody, Nick, and our guy Big C's. He'll be by from time to time. And he's going to be producing our NHL After Dark Season 2 next Saturday.
And one thing, look out for Big C's. He made another appearance somewhere. I don't know where, guys, but he definitely made an appearance somewhere. So be on the lookout for that. I
also feel like he'll make appearance everywhere. It's like just like fucking.
He's
like
everywhere.
Those celebrities pop up in movies. I'm like, what the hell? You're in this too?
Talking to former NHL players that I grew up watching, and
we need to put Caesar's chair in like a mantle and Amaranth.
I driving down 95, see him on a billboard. Like, what the?
I need to rewatch Happy Gilmore 2 to see if Caesar happens to be one of the cameos.
Yeah, that's probably it. But anyway, once again, just a reminder, everybody, the Et tu Lusterine JSA certified autograph photo contest is still going on currently. Remember, you have to rate us 5 stars on Spotify, screenshot that, and send it to KJ_loops on X or the Cats and Rats podcast on Instagram. Just a quick reminder, remember that contest is still going. We will announce the winner, I think, after dark, most likely.
Yeah, maybe after.
So but just a reminder on that. But once again, we appreciate Armando Velez of the Locked On Panthers podcast, Florida Panthers podcast, to joining us today. For myself, Kirby, and Nick, we say goodbye. And as always, let's go Cats.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats.